Wow. First of all, just you all look amazing. Thank you so much. You did have yours on earlier and you took it off, but no, everyone looks amazing. Thank you so much for coming along with the Christmas spirits. I think if we had a competition, then I'm sure it's Saturday. So hopefully we'll be smashing it with the headbands, the glasses, the jumper. You all look amazing. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Marshall Lee, aren't they?
He's rocking it. He's rocking it. Yeah, we won't point out the drunken ones. They stand out compared to everybody else. So, yeah.
Oh.
I'm not for you.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome to December's full council meeting. And once again, thank you very much for coming along with the Christmas spirit. And we'll go straight into agenda item number 1, which is the fire evacuation. So there is a location plan on the exit and the assembly point situated on the doors of this room, so please familiarise yourself. On discovering a fire, please carry out the following: sound the alarm, attack the fire if possible and safe to do so using the appliances provided, and on hearing the evacuation signal, please carry out the following: exit the building by the nearest safest exit. All visitors report to assembly point G. All staff report to the designated assembly point on Woolpack Way car park. And please do not leave the assembly point for any reason until told to do so by the incident controller or the fire brigade. Item number 2, apologies, Steve.
Madam Mayor, apologies from councillors Clues, Dervix, Farrow, Owen Phillips and Steve Watts.
Thank you. Item number 3, any declarations of personal or prejudicial interests at all? No? Lovely, thank you. So could I please move in accordance with standard order number 6 that the minutes of the meeting of the council held on the 24th of September 25 and the minutes of the extraordinary council held on the 15th of October 25 and the 24th of November 2025 to be approved as a correct record. Can I have a seconder? Thank you very much. Councillor Jarvis. All those in favour?
Sorry, there is one issue.
Yeah.
Do you want to raise it?
Yeah, there is one issue on the CCTV motion that got put through. It's got all the detail. It hasn't got what the vote was or at the end of it.
Thank you. We'll get that done.
Page 98 shows what the council therefore resolves. It's in the middle.
It doesn't have the result though.
That is, you can have a look.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Item number 5 is to receive the mayor's announcements. So I've attended many events since our last full council, from civic dinners to Christmas switch on lights, lots of mayor's charity events. Done the AGM for the young carers, but before I hand over to our deputy mayor, who has been amazing and has stepped in on a few events, especially some of them at very short notice over the last few weeks. I'd also like to thank her today for all of her support that she's been giving me. So, Councillor Ridley.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just very quickly, do you mind if I take my jacket off? It's just so hot in here.
That on a bingo card. I would send it.
I want to just review who's actually won the competition.
Yeah, I've reviewed
I was lost.
The mayor is absolutely awesome, and she goes to so many events. It is incredible. So I do have a sort of like twinge of guilt every time I get a message from Kirsty to say the mayor can't cover this one, or she's got a duplicate. Can you go? So no matter what, you know, I always try and go. But it was a great pleasure on Saturday to open the community museum and community hub in Long Street in Addiston. absolutely fantastic space, and I look forward to many others visiting it and some great events going on there in the future. But thank you to the mayor, because she is absolutely phenomenal, and I look forward to some more. If there's anything anybody wants the mayor or myself to go to, please just shout up. We'd be more than happy to go along and support. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and yeah, loving the jump. Thank you. Before we just move on to the next, I would just also like to acknowledge and thank the children of Kingsbury Junior and Infant School who have designed my Christmas card, the Mayor's Christmas card this year. So I would like to just acknowledge the amazing efforts that all of the children have done in designing those. Probably one of the most difficult competitions I think I've ever judged in my life, and I feel very guilty and bad for all of the others, but amazing designs. And the winning card will obviously be shared out, and it was done by a young lady called Sophia of class 2D. So I just would like to acknowledge that. Okay, item number 6 then. Yeah. Item 6 to answer questions from members of, and the public according to order number 7. I understand that there is a question from Councillor Stewart.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And again, thank you for accepting this urgent question. We understand that last week the trustees of Warwickshire Rural Community Council resolved to close the charity with immediate effect. This information was publicised on Monday of this week. The WRCC had previously provided support within the borough, both in terms of providing grant funding and direct support in relation to services which have been critical to the residents of our borough, such as warm pubs. Community transport has also been a key theme, and given the rurality of our location and the present consultation on home to school transport, the possible impact of service removal is an important concern. May I ask the leader of the council that a note be prepared for members on any implications for the council, the borough and its residents.
Thank you. Councillor Ryan.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Yes, I've already spoken to the chief executive and he'll prepare with what you've asked for Steve, sorry, Councillor Stewart, and it's short and sweet. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, item agenda number 7 to receive and consider the minutes of the Community and Environment Board. Councillor Brown.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. May I move that the minutes of the Community Environment Board for the 29th of September and the 30th of October 2025 be received.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Thank you very much. Councillor Waffles. Page 111. Page 112. Page 113. Page 140. And page 115. Thank you, Councillor Brown.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that the minutes of the Community Environment Board 29th September and 30th October be adopted.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Thank you very much. Councillor Fowler. All those in favour? Unanimous. Thank you very much. Item agenda number 8, to receive the minutes and the notes of the Planning and Development Board. Councillor Simpson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I beg to move that the minutes and notes of the meetings of the Planning and Development Board meetings held on the 6th of October and 3rd of November be received.
Thank you. Do I have a second, please? Thank you very much, Councillor Watson. Page 116. Page 117. 118. 119. 120. 121. 122. 123. And 124. Councillor Simpson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Could I, whilst I'm coming up, ask that the members who meet on a Friday afternoon stay behind a little bit afterwards so that we can agree if we're having a meeting this Friday, and if so, where? And otherwise, Madam Mayor, I'm with the minutes of the meeting held on the 6th of October and 3rd November be adopted.
Thank you. Seconded. Thank you very much. All those in favour? Unanimous, thank you very much. Item number 9, 9A and 9B, so this to receive and consider the minutes and notes of the meeting of the Resource Board. Councillor Simmons.
I know reason please. I move that the minutes of the Resources Board held on the 20th of October and the 1st of December be received.
Seconded. Thank you very much. Page 125. 126. 126A. 126B. Sorry, Councillor Simmons, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that the minutes be adopted.
Thank you, seconded by Councillor Elliott. All those in favour? Unanimous, thank you very much. Item number 10, to receive and consider the minutes of the notes of the meeting of the session sub. Councillor Jennings.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that the minutes of the special subgroup on the 4th of November be issued.
Thank you. Do I have a seconder, please? Anybody? Thank you very much, Councillor Chapman. Page 127. Councillor Jones.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that those minutes be adopted, please.
Seconded. Thank you very much. All those in favour? Unanimous, thank you. Item 11, to receive and consider the minutes and notes of the meeting of the local development framework. Councillor Watson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that the minutes of the local development framework on the 17th of November be received.
Thank you. Seconded. Thank you very much, Councillor Hopley. 128. 129. Sorry, Councillor. Sorry.
Thank you. In relation to the issues and options regulation 18 consultation that's posted on the North Warwickshire Borough Council website, I just encourage everybody to make sure that that's fully engaged with by all residents in North Warwickshire. It's a very short window, really. It's statutory, it's within the 6 weeks, so it is over our 6 weeks. But of course, it's over the Christmas period, which does impact, I think, to a certain extent. And the closing date is the 14th of January. So just, generally, if you can ask the residents to have a look at that, great. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else on page 129?
To refer to this, the list of public consultation, and I noticed Newton Regis, there is one in High Barn in Poleswood as well, but Newton Regis has had one on the 6th of January. But the effect up there with what's going to happen, in fact, you've got the Critchley's put land forward, Swinster's have put land forward, you've got Arnold's as well. It's going to, and then you've got the effect of which I think people need to know about, which is the Norton Junction Twycross plus Fort Constantine. I actually think we need one locally to Waltham because the same people have to travel to the Tyre Barn, and we could have it there after. And I don't know if it's possible to fit in at the same. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor, would you like to respond?
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor. Yeah, thank you, Councillor. Really, I think it's really important that people do engage. We know there's been some challenges on a couple of meetings whereby they've been changed very late notice. I think as the Chief Executive said at one of the recent full council meeting, yes, the end date is there, but we're very conscious some parishes may not have met by then. So we will accept responses from parish councils after that formal date. I mean, obviously not too long because you still got to get the paper out, but you know, we're not sticking rigidly to that end date. So, and we can have a look, councillor Humphries, whether it is possible to fit another one in.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry, could I just support what Councillor Humphries said, in particular with the case of Wharton? The public inquiry is going through at the moment, and they are inundated with applications at the moment. It's really quite depressing for their residents at the moment. So I think that's important, and yeah, I support what Councillor Humphries has said there.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Councillor Simpson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Given that it is the season of goodwill and we're all looking for good news, the last item on this report, that item 15, is exceptionally good news. And I think it's important to draw attention to that. It doesn't now say they can accommodate their own needs of 99,000 dwellings within their own boundaries. That is really good news, not just for Birmingham, but massively good news for us too. So, happy Christmas.
Councillor Watson.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, councillor Simpson. It is good news. And we're hoping for similar news from Coventry as well. You'll recall the previous plan did have a number of duties to cooperate, whereby we were taking houses for our neighbouring planning authorities. Well, our understanding we're in a better position, so the consultation will confirm that. Yeah, can I move that those minutes are adopted?
Yes, please. Thank you. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, councillor Hoodley. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes.
Item agenda number 12. Thank you. To receive and consider the following notice of motion received under standing order 10. I believe we have a motion by councillor Jackson. Do we have a seconder? Thank you very much, councillor Vera. Councillor Jackson, over to you.
I had it on my iPad, but. So, thank you, Chair, and I propose that the motion set out is so this motion is calling for real measurable improvements in road safety across Warwickshire. Whilst I recognise that we as a borough council cannot directly implement these county level changes, we are elected to advocate for our residents, and that responsibility really matters. You're probably all thinking, why is she not contacted the county councillor? And believe me, I have. Since being elected, our county council has not attended a single meeting in our ward, and we had a resident-led meeting a few weeks ago, which was very well attended by residents, and she sent a very late apology saying she couldn't attend because it was raining. So this is my attempt to try and get further changes, and I need your help. We had a very proactive county councillor, Margaret Balfe, before, and it took us 4 years to get a crossing. Now not having a proactive councillor, I'm really worried that things are not going to change. It's no secret that our county is falling behind. When we look at borders, to the borders that cross our borders, Coventry, Staffordshire and Leicestershire and beyond, we see these areas taking decisive steps to protect their communities. They are introducing 20 miles per hour speed limits, installing average speed cameras and delivering interventions that ultimately save lives. Meanwhile, here in Warwickshire, too often we are told to wait, review and consult, all while people continue to be killed or seriously injured on our roads. In 2024 alone, 1,144 people were injured in Warwickshire, and of those, 298 were seriously injured and 25 people lost their lives. These numbers are rising year on year. More and more people are being injured, more people are dying, and our residents deserve better. Every journey on our road should end safely, but right now that is not guaranteed, not even outside our schools. Therefore, this motion calls for a commitment to push those to introduce at 20 miles per hour speed limits across all schools in the North Warwickshire area as a minimum standard. Nationally, 1,190 children are injured each month within 500 metres of their school. In my own ward, there is a school where the speed limit outside the gates is an astonishing 60 miles per hour. 60, yes, you've heard that right. And so many times I've pushed for that to be changed, and I'm told, I'm sorry, it's a country lane, we cannot change it. It's disgusting and frankly indefensible. If we cannot protect our most vulnerable our children getting to and from school and push for, then what does it say about our priorities as a council? We cannot keep accepting the excuses or allowing the exceptions to be made, but road safety is not just a problem outside schools. It is a county-wide issue affecting every road user, and that's why we need to see wider adoption of 20 miles per hour speed limit across urban areas. This is not some radical experiment. It is a measure that is being implemented across the country, with now 19 million people now living in 20 miles per hour areas. Everyone, it seems, except in Warwickshire, as they say they don't like 20 miles per hour speed limits. Research shows that 20 miles per hour speed limits do not significantly delay motorists. They do lead to major reduction in serious injuries. In Wales, injuries fell by 25% in just 18 months after implementation. Therefore, we need a county-wide road safety strategy rooted in the principles of a Vision Zero approach. A commitment that says no loss of life on our roads is acceptable and that safety must take priority over speed and convenience. Warwickshire should be investing in safe crossings, segregated cycle lanes and stronger enforcement, and smarter technologies like average speed cameras, which not only slow traffic but change driver behaviour long term. We should also be pushing for tougher penalties and dangerous driving, and working closely with the Police Crime Commissioner to support stricter enforcement. This isn't about punishing drivers, it's about protecting our people. It's about building communities where parents feel safe to let their children walk to school, where cyclists aren't risking their lives, and where drivers themselves are feeling safer. It's about changing mindsets, making safety the default and not an afterthought. I've spoken a lot now about statistics and what I believe needs to change, but behind every statistic is a person, a family, now the future that should never be taken away. One of those people is my son, my 11-year-old son, Harley James Jackson. Harley was the funniest.
Rated. Deep breath still.
Most caring boy you could ever meet. And he had a smile that lit up the room wherever he went. His laugh. Sorry.
Just take your time, there's no rush.
His laugh echoed through our home, and the sound of his dancing feet was always pattering through our house. He could lift your mood with no matter what kind of day you were having. He brought joy not only to us, to everyone that knew him, and in an instant he was gone. Our lives were devastated beyond anything I could put into words. Our home will never be the same without his laugh bouncing off the walls, or the rhythm of his dancing feet. The silence he's left behind is something that no family should ever have to live with. I was killed on the road that we live on, and I've campaigned every day since. He was just trying to get across the road, and it was half on the grass verge, and the driver took 141 foot to stop. After this accident, I made a promise to him, myself and my community that I would do everything in my power to make our road safer so that no one has to experience the devastation that my family and friends and community feel. I will not let his memory fade into a statistic And we cannot keep saying that something must be done and then do nothing. The time is now, and North Warwickshire must push for Warwickshire to lead and not lag behind. Therefore, I urge all colleagues all across parties to support this motion and let us send a clear message and be united that the safety of our residents is a top priority and that every life matters. Thank you.
First of all, thank you very much, Councillor Jackson, I'm sorry, but thank you very much as well for sharing such a private moment with us all. Councillor Reardon, would you like to speak now, or would you like to hold?
I'll hold.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to say anything? Councillor Hardman.
Smashed it.
So I'm speaking in support of Councillor Jackson's motion that we write to county, that our leader writes to county, on behalf of our residents. For those people who are in the stats that Kayla just mentioned, in the 2024 stats, all 25 people who were killed and the 299 who had serious or life-changing injuries on our roads in Warwickshire. We've got accident hotspots such as Woodford Lane and Barnend Crossroads, which become known by our community and spoken about as just another accident. Isabel Boschel was killed on Tamworth Road, a stone's throw from our boundary, by a speeding car in 2020. Her family campaigned along with the local community, and as a result, there are now average speed cameras all the way up Tamworth Road into Coventry City Centre. Her family were praised for their dedication to making things right. Harley Jackson was killed in 2019 on Ansley Common, within our boundary. His family campaigned with local community and our councillors, including community speed watchers, to monitor the speeds on the road. As a result of this data, his family were told, despite recording speeds of over 90 miles per hour on a 30-mile-an-hour road, that because 45% of people stick to the speed limit, it was a compliant road. Is this the difference a boundary makes? Bridge Lane residents were told they couldn't do a community speed watch because it was too unsafe, but no traffic calming's been put in place. All of us, whatever colour rosette we wear, know someone, know a family like my friend and colleague, Councillor Jackson, whose son made us councillors today. We know someone who's become a sickening statistic. Who's next? Should we be left to wonder that, while not holding our county council to account for leaving our residents behind? Or do we act and demand for what we desperately need? With those questions on my mind, I urge you all to support Councillor Jackson in her motion to write to our county and make a start, and to help her fulfil the promise that she made to the children of Ansley Common in North Warwickshire, who witnessed Harley being killed by a car with her own 11-year-old eyes, to make our roads safer. Thank you.
Councillor Waffles.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you for sharing that, Michaela. Obviously, I know the story already, and it's brought tears to my eyes, so I'm surprised you got through that, but thank you. I'd also like to thank the Labour Group for the advance notice of the motion, and just to say that I fully support the motion. Just one point that I'd just like to consider. Number 2, where it says right for the Police and Crime Commissioner to request investment in average speed cameras and enhanced enforcement. If I could try and link that with our previous motion that we had passed recently, that would probably tie in quite nicely. So just a little really. Thanks again, Kayla.
Thank you. Councillor Wiggler.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Councillor Jackson, completely supportive of this motion. No, none of us want any deaths on our roads or any serious injuries. That goes without any other saying. We are completely supportive, I'm sure. It can be done. Speed limits can be reduced. When Councillor Wright was a county councillor, the lanes outside my house in Dordon were reduced from 50 to 40. And that was because of cattle and horses. So if we can do it for cattle and horses, surely we can do it for human beings. We are very much minded about school safety and road safety on Dordon Parish Council. We had an incident there last year where a young child was luckily not seriously injured because of the people parking right on the zigzags. So children not being able to see and just walking out in front of cars and being injured. That is not acceptable. So that is almost a lesson for carers, parents and whatnot to actually adhere to the road safety. It's not just speed, it's also about parking and being aware that a car is a weapon. It can be a weapon and therefore if you get in behind that wheel, you have to take responsibility for what you're doing, for those actions that you do. We actually got in the parish council, we got safer signs, and again we were supported by our county councillor. So very much behind you, behind this campaign, and yes, I would support the fact that the leader does write to the county council. Thank you.
Councillor Jarvis.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Very much to expand slightly on what Councillor Ridley's just said, that in my ward we've got Race Meadow School, which was a racetrack, and when Councillor Singh was the county councillor, he spent a lot of money doing the barriers, the lineage and everything, which has had an effect. But I'm afraid to say it's the parents of the children that are dropped off at school. And I mean, I go down there quite regular with the crossing warden. And it hurts to say, but a lot of the time it is actually the parents that you see them stopping on the lines. The kids can't see across the road. The crossing warden can't see across the road. And I mean, only this week she sent me about 7 or 8 photographs of cars with numbers, which I'll pass on to the police. When the police go down there, it's very compliant. But as soon as they go, it's back to stage one. But while supporting every word that's been said, I think there's also something that's got to go into parents. Because the parents are the ones that probably have the biggest equity in this. Certainly in the school in our ward, it's the parents that have the biggest equity. So Councillor Singh spent a lot of his allocated budget in doing a lot of work down there, creating a safe zone. But the ones that are destroying that safe zone, unfortunately, are actually the parents. So is there something that can expand this slightly to say that there's got to be education for parents as well? Because, I mean, I've got a photograph on my phone that this morning, parents stopped right outside the school, opened the door, kid got out and went. Stopped right outside. And if that child had got out of the car and, God forbid, was injured, whose responsibility was it? She dropped him off right in the middle of a safety zone, which, as I say, supporting every single word. But I think maybe we may need to go a little bit further in education for parents, that all this is done for the safety of their children. And they're the ones really, as it hurts to say, they're the ones that don't really take care of their own children. Thank you.
Councillor Fowler.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and I echo the comments that have been made by people so far. And Michaela, very emotional, well said speech from you and everybody in this room. I know it's going to support your motion very much so. And in fact, that does bring back not actually with the accidents, but things that I was doing as a county councillor, but moreover to Councillor Watson. As a borough councillor, I was pushing for our local school in Norton Road, the High Meadow. I've been trying to get traffic calming measures down there, 20 miles an hour, and I hope that will come to before as well. And into Coleshill South, we have Appington Lane, and I know that with 2 schools down there, I know of speeding that carries on down there, and I'm sure that Coleshill School also would welcome this situation In fact, I know that there are parents now still calling for a pedestrian crossing as we speak. And I know that Cameron, Scott Cameron rather, is also pushing for that, which I actually do welcome. Interestingly, you spoke about the Police and Crime Commissioner. I don't know if you have any availability tomorrow, or maybe I could have a chat with you afterwards, because tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock at the Cameo Suite in Coleshill, we have the Neighbourhood Watch team coming along, and the Safer Neighbourhoods team, and also joining us will be Philip Seckham, the Police and Crime Commissioner. So if you can't make it, as well as you writing to them, I'd be more than happy to echo your comments to him tomorrow night for him to respond to you, if that would help, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you. I have Councillor Stewart next.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think we've seen tonight one of the bravest pieces of oratory, certainly in my time on the council. I dare say even those members who are longer standing in their memories too. You smashed it, you know, with every step of the way. Because when I did read the motion, I thought this is going to be difficult. It was just as difficult for us listening. So, and you did a fantastic job. And thank you for raising the issue. Following off of Councillor Fowler's points around the Police and Crime Commissioner, I don't know if Councillor Barnett was here with them when the Police and Crime Commissioner was present at a meeting of the North Warwickshire area, where he actually detailed reducing deaths on our roads to zero was one of his major priorities there, and one of his key stated aims. So I think it's quite clear is that residents want this, the police want this, the barrier to this is county. And we've all, what becomes increasingly apparent when we have discussions such as this, is some of the excuses that come out of county for not acting in these kind of ways. The frustrations that you have to have a certain amount of deaths before they will consider acting. How awful is that? And that actually those deaths don't count after a certain period of time in terms of actually making steps to take forward. We need to start moving away from reacting to situations and acting in the interest of our residents. And hopefully the letter that we put there will lead that kind of acting to take place. I also noticed something around the average speed cameras. One of the greatest frustrations that we have, and I know that Councillor Watson, in his time as County Councillor, and Councillor Riley will know from his Borough and County Council days, is the use of average speeds in determining whether action needs to be taken on our roads by county. Average speeds don't kill anyone. It's the people who are travelling at 60 and 90 miles an hour that kill people, and it's those who are travelling at 20 and 10 miles an hour because they're not enforcing off-road parking effectively in the same kind of areas, which are acting as the only brakes. We need to start moving away from realising that it's not the actions of the majority that are causing situations here, but we need to start taking actions both in terms of policing, in terms of when we bring in these areas, then it becomes an enforcement issue, but also in terms of looking to take action in the right way. Average speed checks as a methodology of determining where action needs to be taken is not effective and is leading to potential dangers for all of us. In terms of subsequent monitoring, I'm all in favour and I'll wholeheartedly support the motion, and thank you for bringing that to this attention.
Thank you very much. I have Councillor Parsons next.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I know that Councillor Stewart has said that was an enormously brave rendition. Certainly, I think it's probably the bravest that's ever going to be said in this chamber. I taught for 33 years. I taught in Birmingham, so it's a long way from North Warwickshire. But during that time, 3 pupils who I taught were killed on the roads. Another was on her way to sixth form college after she'd left the school. We were 11, 16, and she died within weeks of leaving the school. By contrast, I'd like to sort of think about another pupil who I taught, a young lady called Alison Hammond, who you may have seen on your television screens. Alison was a tremendous pupil. At the age of 15, she decided she wanted to go into the media. She marched herself into what was then Pebble Mill 1, and talked herself into a work experience there. From there, she got a place on a children's drama production, and now if you turn your television on, you usually see Alison Hammond somewhere on the line. Actually, she's exactly the same as she was at school. She's an infectious laugh, incredibly cheerful, and yeah, a wonderful young lady. She had enormous opportunities for making for herself. The children who are killed on the roads don't get those opportunities. Many children are killed away from school, but the obvious thing is to make the 20-mile-an-hour limits by the schools where the children are, where the children congregate. I do accept that, yes, sometimes parents, parking make life difficult there. Often, it is working mums who are dropping kids off at school because they have got to get to work, and that's there. And we do need to look at parking around schools. So the 20-mile-an-hour limit is an absolute must and should be there around our schools. So yes, I would very much advocate that Madam Chair, we will go to this motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Simmons.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Quite harrowing to read and share. I'm particularly frustrated with our county council in relation to our roads. I think we do have and have known for quite a long time that we have quite a lot of unsafe and quite high risk areas within our borough. They talk about some of the most dangerous junctions in the county being in North Warwickshire. And we have campaigned, and some of the people in this room have campaigned to get something done about some of them. And so far, I think we've had one done since I've been around. And even that has been fraught with its own problems and difficulties. So I absolutely advocate our leader writing to the county council and expecting something more to be done and sharing our frustration. One of the things I particularly find frustrating is the blame actually we're getting for decriminalising parking as a borough. So the police can't police things are parked on zigzags because that's for the warden. The warden won't do anything about that because that's for the police, and they argue it out. Well, it's that we haven't decriminalised the law. We've only said about on street parking, about double yellow lines, and our wardens policing those around our schools when people park too close to a junction where they make it unsafe for children to cross, where they're parking on zigzag lines by zebra crossings, where children are crossing, or any person is crossing. We've put traffic lights in to make the Queenman Crossroads. They spent £850,000 making that a safer junction, and put cameras there which they don't record the information or use anything with it. So people still turn right, but now they turn right into people crossing. They're actually on a crossing now because people ignore the rules and there's no consequences. So I find it really, really frustrating, our county position on our roads, and I'm happy to support a writing to the county for that purpose, really, not just actually for the 20-mile-an-hour zone, which I think by schools is actually a really effective measure. When it's done in time zones, they found that when you look at statistics and you look at analysis, so when people feel there's a reason to do something, they generally comply. So if it's school start time, finish time, if mile per hour zones are flexible or variable and they're around certain activity, people tend to be more compliant than at that time of day than they are perhaps at 10 o'clock at night when it's completely clear. So I think there's a suite of measures that we as North Warwickshire need from our county in terms of making our roads safe. It is a rural area, so some of our roads are dark, and you can't believe I took some people from a different part of the country and in some of our lanes. They're absolutely blown away that they're 60-mile-an-hour single track roads. And they're like, what are you doing? I was like, no, you couldn't possibly drive that. It's perfectly legal to do so. And that seems absurd at times, doesn't it? So I do think there should be a wider strategy. I'm really sorry, I'm not quite sure what a Vision Zero strategy was. I wasn't sure of the terminology, if I'm really honest. But I am absolutely supportive of a wider strategy for making our roads safer. I think we all could support that.
Thank you very much. I have Councillor Jens next.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
If I could just echo what Jordan has said, that I didn't know any of it. But really, that's so well, really. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to support this motion. I'm sorry to hear that your county council is not engaging with you. Not fair, but to be fair, I've not found that's the case with our new county councillor. And I did meet with him the other day to look at a number of highways issues in our area. And one of those was speed past the school. And he's going to take away and look at over the 20-mile-an-hour speed limit past the school in Kingsbury. I think, you know, whether you'll get anywhere with that, and I don't know, I've been for county council, and I suspect you'll find it a lot more difficult than just talking about it. But you know, at least that's when, if we can get, I think if we get all of our county councillors on side with that, then maybe we've got a chance to fix it, don't you? And so I'll support right into the county council on this. My concern is, if we do get it, is enforcement. And I think, you know, it's all very well and good having a speaking confession, but we've got to be able to make sure that it's effective and that we enforce it. So I think in writing to the police, we also need to make sure that there's some measure of enforcement. Thank you.
I've got Councillor Riley next.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. It'd be a great pleasure to support this motion. And remind councillors in the chamber that reducing killed and serious injury accidents is a key element of a borough plan. And this motion builds upon the work that's already done. The traffic lights at Coleshill Crossroads have been cited. We've also succeeded in getting the average speed area from the Belfry Hotel to the access pole A38 junction, and the Borough Council has secured the Waterway Stadium junction, which is driven by an ambition to prevent death and injury. So this motion builds upon the good work that's already being done. Thank you.
Thank you. I've still got a couple, so Councillor
White. Thank you, Madam Mayor. More than happy to support this motion and do as requested a right to the county council. If there was one single issue or service that you could call to support a two unitary option, and that's county council highways, in my opinion, it is not fit for purpose. They are inept. Which leads me, you've mentioned your county councillor, Councillor Warren, who not only is your county councillor, but she's also portfolio holder for transport. One of the most dangerous crossroads we have in the borough is the Philongley Crossroads. And Councillor Warren did turn up once a few weeks ago and supported everything the council was saying about the need for something to be done, but traffic lights were not an option because the road's too narrow. Also, a crossing couldn't be put in because the pavement is too narrow. That she agreed with the residents. She agreed with the parish council. 2 weeks after that meeting, the officers of the county highways said, "Oh yes, well we need traffic lights and we need to put this crossing in." And she said, "Yes, absolutely, that's what needs to be done." Not only are county council highways inept and not fit for purpose, but my opinion is that Councillor Warren is also inept and not fit for purpose. So yes, I'm more than happy to support. As Councillor Riley's just said, and it's been echoed around the chamber, you know, deaths and seriously killed accidents have got to be reduced. They've been reduced elsewhere in the county, and as I say, we have there are 10 been identified 10 most dangerous crossroads in the county, 8 of which are in North Warwickshire. You know, and we see, you know, almost daily, do we not, serious accidents at all these locations. You know, you have to use the A5 to see the Woodford lane. The carnage there most days. At least once a week, there's a serious accident on the Colomby Crossroads. The Furnace End Crossroads is another one. The Green Man Crossroads was. It's better, although only a few weeks ago, travelling down there managed to roll their car and crash, even with the traffic lights and all the rest. So absolutely agree, something needs to be done. You know, not just at schools, but across the borough in all those locations. So more than happy to support.
I have councillor Chipman next.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm Kayla. Don't have the words to thank you for this. It's truly heartbreaking. 20 is absolutely plenty. We've heard a lot of talk around the parking abuses that happen around schools. And I think that's a really important thing that we probably need to tackle, but also look at it in a different way. Most of the schools, they don't have safe drop-off points. We go to a leisure facility, there's parking where you can drop your children off to go for swimming pools, baths, leisure facility. But something as simple as having that after school, I think we can all recognise within our wards where the schools are placed. They're all predominantly on main roads. There is no drop-off areas for parents. That is not an excuse to break the rules around double yellows, parking and blocking views and stuff like that. But I do think that it's something that also needs to be looked at. 20, as I said, is plenty. But I also think that we need to look at future schools, how they're built and what facilities they have for parents to drop off their children safely. Not just for the safety of their own children, but for the safety of everybody that's going to that school. So I just think that when we're looking at our local plan and we're potentially, if we ever do get more senior schools or junior schools, we also look at how those or where those are and the facilities that really should be in place to make sure that a school is a safe place. We've all dropped our children off at school. Some parents are very fortunate, they can actually walk there, but some can't. There's more building coming in North Warwickshire. There's going to be more children and there's going to be more issues. And we really do need to look at not just reducing the speed, but everything else that's connected with that. You know, we drop our children off, we leave them there for 6 or 7 hours, and we expect them to be safe. We should also expect them to be safe when they come out of those premises. So whilst absolutely all the parking restrictions, they need to be there, but we also need to go one step further to make sure that those parking restrictions are enforceable. Thank you.
Thank you, councillor Chapman. Councillor Hayfield.
Thank you. Okay, do have our sympathy, our admiration and support. But a letter to the county council, great that we're going to send it, and then what? And then what happens? I can pretty much guarantee what's going to happen. You'll wait for ages and get some sort of letter saying we're doing our best. I think we need to think what more we can do in terms of coordinating people, the county council, the police. You can blame the enforcement, all the speed limits things. The police don't enforce them. They're a waste of space. The schools themselves. The schools. We used to have a safer routes to schools policy at the county council, and getting the school heads and everything to actually participate and try and do something, but they tend to think, well, our influence stops on the school gates. And beyond the school gates, that's not our influence, that's somebody else's influence. I wish I could have made it one and could say, we need to do this, this and this. But I don't know what this and this is at the moment. What I am certain of is that a letter to the county council will make us all feel good. There's a cynic in me, I've been councillor for too long. There's a cynic in me that says, and so what? What will happen afterwards? And I think we would need to do more as a council, individuals, and who can make a difference. Because yes, the schools are important, and what happens to the kids get safely get into school and out of school. But where you are, that Ansley Common Lane, housing, play areas, housing and things. There's all sorts of potential hazards, kids, pedestrians, and things, not just there, but throughout the borough. And speeding cars. That lane, that road of yours, it's a long straight road. There's always speeding cars there. So I'm rambling a bit now, but the point is, we need to do this, but we need to think about what more we can do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Down.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and thank you, Councillor Jackson, for bringing this forward, and I absolutely support it. I'm not going to go over the things that everybody said, which I support too. There are two things I'd like to say. First of all, in response to Councillor Hayfield, he's right, we can't just write a letter. It's a good start. I suggest that then that goes to our Safer Communities group, who will follow it up on our behalf and come back to us with how far are we getting with this and get a plan for following up on it. And the second thing I'd like to say is that both you, Councillor Jackson, and Councillor Hobley came up with some statistics which are really useful. But I'll tell you that I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know that North Warwickshire is an outlier, not only in Warwickshire but nationally, in the number of killed and seriously injured on the roads. So can we find out what the local North Warwickshire stats are and include it in the letter? Thank you. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you very much. Have I missed anybody? That's awesome.
Yes, thank you, Madam Mayor, and yeah, very moving. And I was aware because you and I have had a conversation. It is incredibly frustrating, you know, being an ex-county councillor, that this has been alluded to, trying to get done was painfully slow, painfully difficult. But the point I was going to make, I think we do need to go a step further. Many people don't know, when the county looked at the 20s plenty, they had a very much a kind of standing orders that said, we're not going to do it everywhere, but we do accept that outside schools, and there are places where it's absolutely appropriate. And what they then said was, but it's down to the county councillor to use their delegated budget. And what a lot of people don't know, each county councillor gets about £38,000 of delegated budget, which I will hasten to add, the officers have increasingly tried to take away at every turn. And the members have actually fight to keep that money to spend in their communities on things that affect and improve the lives of their communities. So I would suggest actually, I agree with Councillor Bell, I think they don't need to go, let's go, need to go further. We need to challenge the way they're currently set up, to challenge the way that they actually deliver the highways thing. And I agree with Councillor Wright, you know, actually, it is done differently, and there was often criticism about in the south it's done differently and in the north beyond. I think you're right, Councillor, 7 out of 10 of the most dangerous junctions are in the North Warwickshire. So I think we need to go one step further. I think we need to engage with the current county councillors. I think we need to support them in their battle to actually increase that delegated budget to spend in their communities and make sure that they have control over it. Because generally when you speak to your county councillor, not all, I accept, but generally when you speak to them, they understand the problems in their areas and they want to support. So to my mind, I actually give them more money to actually do the things you want to do and take it away from the officers at county who look for reasons not to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else? Councillor Singh.
Councillor Jackson, thank you for sharing your story. I echo what Councillor Hayfield said. Writing to county council won't really get you far. Like Councillor Jarvis said, I had the same sort of project at Race Meadow School. I needed evidence, cars parked I needed support from the police, I needed support from the parents and the school. And then they wouldn't do it until I paid out my delegated budget, which was, it cost me £25,000 out of the 38,000, but it was well worth doing the project. I would say you should get in touch with your county councillor. He's the one, or she, whoever it is, that will use their delegated budget, and this will get done within next year. But if you wait for county, you could be waiting 10 years. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? That's Humphries.
Madam Mayor, I think, excuse me, whilst. We've got to change the mindset, how county work and how the police work. If you think about it, Sadiq Khan collected £485 million last year in London without no police involved at all, just cameras. And did that with congestion charge and your ultra low emission charges. The technology's there, but the mindset at county isn't. And we need that letter and other things need to get into the root branch of it. Otherwise, Councillor Simmons has already alluded. There are 3 MPR cameras on the lights at the Greenman Crossroads, and none of which the evidence is acceptable to the police. 22 people got nicked because the policeman was there at some other time. So 2,500 people have since done. And the reason those lights were put there is that a 5-year-old was run over and killed, and 13 other people with other accidents, but 13 other people had life-changing injuries on that corner. And if you start doing the right turns, then all of a sudden the right turn, you're going to find people crossing the road. So I don't know how we're going to change the mindset of the people, but you don't actually need a police officer there if you accept the technology and input the technology. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Councillor Reary, would you like to speak now?
Thank you, Chair. I feel very privileged as second generation. As we've heard today, Deafhearing Road is not just a devastated family and a heartbroken community. Council, we have a vital role to play in representing our residents to ensure that Warwickshire County Council creates safer infrastructure than we currently have. In the villages in the north of the county, we have regular accidents at the Linden Lane Junction and Barn End Road. So inadequate signage, faded road markings, and no working speed calming measures. The council isn't even doing simple tasks like putting back trees to improve vision or painting the faded lines. They're not even doing the so for the second time this year, I actually agree with Councillor Wright. They're not fit for purpose.
Must be Christmas.
Councillor Jarvis is correct as well. We must promote education. We still have parents parking on junctions. This happens in all the local villages. Grandparents as well, not just parents. We're lucky in the villages to have a committed neighbourhood coordinator, Colin Cartwright, and we have Speed Watch in Wharton who do a great job. And we're lucky enough to have one set up in Austria at the moment. But the number of drivers they find speeding at school time is alarming, and they're repeat offenders as well. But all they get is a letter. So as well as supporting Councillor Jackson's motion, I'd also ask you to check out Brake's road safety campaign, which this year is all about safer vehicles. And as part of the programme, there's a winter car safety check at Tesco and Atherstone on the 9th of December. So I think it's only available between 10 and 12, but hopefully it will make people think about how they can keep their cars safer, checking their brakes, checking their tyres, making sure that they have fluid in their windscreen fluid, etc. Other villages and towns across the country from Gateshead to Cotswolds have 20-mile-an-hour speed limits. And why can't we? It's out of date. We have the data, we have the evidence. Let's do it. Lastly, I'd like to take the opportunity to pay tribute to Michaela and her campaign we've had, as many said, one of Rover's speeches tonight. And I know you've said that in parish council meetings, in Parliament recently, you know, and you will continue fighting. And I know that Harley will be really proud of you. And I hope his brother and sisters get to watch your speech tonight, so they know just what an incredible woman you are. Thank you for your support.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Councillor Jackson. Would you like to sum up? Take your time.
Yeah. Thank you so much to everybody for their support. Just going on a few people's what they've said in their speeches, and then the whole idea on 20 miles per hour speed limits is that yes, not everybody is going to stick to it, but the idea is that between 20 and 30, there's such a difference with the stopping distances and the chance of death. If an accident happens and it's 20 miles per hour, then the chance of a death occurring is only 2.5% chance. At 30, that goes up to, I think it's 30%. And at 40 miles per hour, then there's only a 10% chance of survival. So them statistics are massively different. And on somebody's journey, it's only a few seconds more. So we need more education. And that's what I've been going to Parliament for, to campaign that. You know, we need more education for people to understand. And if they actually realise the difference that it would make if they drove that little bit slower, it could happen to anybody, and lives do get changed forever. Not only to us as a family, but the driver's family as well. You know, I know that he didn't purposely go in the car that day and think I'm going to kill somebody, but you know, his actions that day killed my son, and he's got to live with that forever. And if he was going that little bit slower, then my son would probably be here today. But that's the whole idea of 20 miles per hour. I also agree that the county council need to do more. I've so many times I've asked Councillor Warren to, and she promised me when she was elected, I promised Councillor Jackson that road safety will be my priority. We've called so many meetings in our parish for road safety, and I had lots of angry residents at that residents meeting, and she didn't turn up. But we need to start seeing the changes. It makes me so angry when I go to Coventry and see how much safer their roads are now. They've got the average speed cameras. And I'm hoping that, you know, if we can write a letter, I know it's not going to make them changes, but hopefully it makes a stand and say that actually North Warwickshire, we want to start seeing 20 miles per hour speed limits, and we want to start seeing average speed limits. But outside schools, it should be an absolute must. But I just want to say a big thank you to everybody, and I'm sorry for getting upset, but you know, I'm hopefully I'll keep fighting forever, and that's what my promise was, and hopefully that one day we will get there and our roads will be safer. We did have speed checks on our road, and like Councillor Hobley did say, because 47% stick to the speed limit, they class it as a compliant road. And I said, but what about the speeds that we're seeing every day? 40, 50, 60, even 90 miles an hour, all the time, you know. But because obviously where the cameras are placed, there's places where people do stop, like this by the school, by the shops, by the junctions. That then slows down the average speed, and that's not acceptable. And you know, the other day I had to go out. There's a little old lady trying to cross the road, and I watched her from my window, and I was like, "Oh, she's trying to cross that road." So I went out. When I went out, she was crying. She was like, "I can't get across the road." So you know, if that's not acceptable, you know, and that's what I have to see every day. I have to stand on the road that my son was killed on, and know that things are still not changed. The crossing that Margaret Vale did get installed, it does make a difference, but we need 3 or 4 of them, you know, across our road. So hopefully this letter is the first step to saying to Warwickshire County Council, things need to change and we need to start seeing changes. And hopefully it will be a starting step, but thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Jackson. First and foremost, I don't think you need to apologise for anything, and I think it's, we're all so grateful that you shared your personal story, and you should be proud of yourself and feel that your son and should be honoured if they so. Thank you very much for bringing this motion forward and for everybody who has taken part in the discussion. So we've had it proposed by Councillor Jackson, and we've had it seconded by Councillor Reary. All those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. We move on to item number 13, to authorise Chief Executive in accordance with Article 11.05 of the Articles of the Constitution to sign and seal. Behalf of the Council, any orders, deeds and documents necessary to give effect to the resolution of the Council, including any past during part of the meeting which is held in private. I have a seconder, please. Thank you very much, Councillor Jarvis. All those in favour? Thank you. Can I propose that item number 14, removed from the chair, to consider in accordance with section 100A(4) of the Local Government Act 1972, whether it is in the public interest that the public and press be excluded from the meeting for the following items of business, on the grounds that they involve the likely disclosure of exempt information as defined by Schedule 12A to the Act. So have a second, please. Thank you, Councillor Ockles. All those in favour? Thank you.